Hello and welcome to the January 25th, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Bowley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by StockCharts.com, simply the web's best financial charts. Today is a little different Chart of the Day. In the past, we've looked at individual trading candidates looking for profit on an individual stock, either on the long or short side. This presentation is more about the overall state of the market. I like to refer to this particular sentiment indicator as our relative complacency or relative pessimism ratio. It tells us one very simple fact about the market, and that is whether or not individual traders are getting too aggressive on the long side, meaning that they're greedy and things are getting a little too complacent, or if individual traders are just simply panicking out of positions, which generally will coincide with market bottoms. Now, if you take a look, this is just the last 8 months on the S&P 500, but take a look at what happens at these near-term, short-term pivot points on the chart, where you've got tops going in here a couple times in August, again in September, and then again just recently, and then there were 3 bottoms, and all of these came with some fairly similar characteristics that are worth going over. Now, all of these in red that show plus 16%, 15%, 19%, 15%, so forth, these are readings that indicate that the market is getting a little too complacent or greedy, depending on how you want to look at it. And the way we gauge this and the way that we calculate it is by determining a short-term moving average of the equity-only put-call ratio and a long-term moving average, and then comparing the two. That's all that's involved. It's just a mathematical calculation, just like the moving average convergence, divergence, the MACD, stochastics, RSI. All of these are just mathematical computations. But this one is focused a little differently because it's focused on what I call the psychological state of the market, or the emotional state of the market, as opposed to just simply are we overbought or are we oversold, that type of thing. But if you take a look, you'll see that many of these tops in the past occurred when the market was just getting too ahead of itself, too complacent in the near term. Back in August, we had a couple of tops that coincided with these high readings, or actually low readings in the equity-only put-call ratio, because again, the lower the reading, the more complacent the market is, the more calls that are being bought or traded versus the put side. Now, on the flip side, when we get the bottoms, many times we see the exact opposite holding true, where the equity-only put-call ratio spikes to the upside much higher than the longer-term moving average. That tells us that a lot more puts are being played in the market or traded relative to calls, and that generally coincides with pessimism and so forth. And if you take a look, you'll see that many of these bottoms were marked by that. Now, not every bottom is marked by it. Not every top is marked by it. So it's not like when you're selling off, you have to wait to see pessimism reach a certain level before you can begin buying. Rather, it's just that when you see these develop, you have to be at least prepared and adjust your strategy accordingly, so that you're set up in your retirement account or trading account or whatever in an appropriate manner. Now, this is all, this chart of the day is part of our Market Pulse service. We also have Market Plus. We have a Plus service and also a Premier service. So make sure you check out both of those services. I would say that the Plus service is more designed for folks who just like to trade now and again, want to kind of keep an eye on the market. Our Premier service is really designed for those who are really interested in following the market closely, want to be told during the day what's going on. They want a lot of trading candidates and so forth. So check those out if you have a minute. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at InvestedCentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.